Hello, cats and kittens. Right now I have in my lap our kitten. Well, I had in my lap our kitten. You got your first look at Miriel, who may or may not, should probably come back and visit in a little bit. She's a lap cat for sure. She's a 6-month-old kitty. And I'm hearing myself on my own audio. Hang on. All right. So, I did a little recording earlier because I wanted to see how things were going. Because she's absolutely hilarious. Like, she might chase my carbuncle here. It's been a wild ride this afternoon. And she has not mastered the walking not on the keyboard yet, so we may have some excitement with her hitting some really wild keys. So I don't know what's going to happen this stream, but it should be entertaining. But yeah, Jakey looked like he was missing having a cat. He had never been without a cat companion in his entire life until Piper passed away last March. And he was still looking for her even a couple weeks ago. So we went, I think he really needs another companion. And we checked out a couple of different shelters that seemed really reputable, and we found Miriel at the Oklahoma Humane Society. She's absolutely adorable. She's part Lynx Point Siamese or color point short hair. I don't know the exact description. Somebody who's an official cat fancier type who names her can let me know. But she's definitely got tortoiseshell and no bites. Good girl. Definitely has some tabby and some tortoiseshell on her, so she's some kind of Torby color point. Really, really pretty cat. Probably one of the most beautiful cats. But she's 6 months old, and she creates cat chaos still. She's got a lot of energy, like all 6-month-old kitties do. So if I suddenly disappear off the face of the planet, it's probably her. So we'll see what happens today. All right, I wanted to get done. I just got to level 72 on my summoner, or 70. Make sure I got my gear up to date. Yeah, I got all my recommended gear. So I have the off-the-record job quest, and I wanted to pick that up. Oh, should have done that a while ago. I'm going to go back to Gridania. Because that gives you a nice skill. And then I always want to keep up with those. She sees my pointer on my screen. She likes to chase that, too. So we might have a wild ride today. She was fostered by a family. What I'm guessing, inferring from her paperwork, is that a pregnant mama came in and was fostered. Because they actually had her birth date. And so she was with the foster family until about 2 days before we brought her home. They put her in the shelter. Why am I going that way? I don't want to go that way. So she was only in the shelter for 2 days. I was surprised somebody didn't pick her up immediately because she's a beautiful cat. And she's a little shy around kids. That might have been a big part of it. But, my kids are grown. But they said she was good with dogs and cats, and that's what we were looking for. And she made friends with Jakey already, which is like a minor miracle for cats. Usually it takes them a couple weeks to get used to each other, but she's a really laid-back cat. Alright, this is for a summoner quest. Off the record. It says, I searched through the usual histories, but found scant mention of Sari. 'Tis as Prince has said, records of his existence have all been expunged. Principia says, and since my own knowledge is limited to the day I was stored away, we must rely on those lost Allegan records that escaped the purge. My colleague Rambros may be able to help us there. Hardly a day goes past when his team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Mordona. Shall we pay him a visit? Yes, let's do that. Let's go to St. Koinek's fine. He's watching that carbuncle very carefully. Oh. That is a really cool mount. I think you get that for doing all the Stormblood extreme mounts. We have fair skies. It's a nice view of the Crystarium from there. It's really cool. It's a Silvertear Falls. About ready to bypass the guy there. Let me eat some food because I'm sure we will have a battle. Rambro says, Ymitrez, inform me of your search, and I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of this Sari. There may, however, be a swifter way to acquire the information you seek. I know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tomestones with even greater zeal than the sons of St. Koinak. Ymitra says, you speak of Rowena. Aye, we have formed something of a symbiotic relationship with her consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you would find her amenable to a request for assistance. After all, you would... It's like these guys running by me for... I have no idea what reason. After all, you would merely need to borrow her tomestones for time, yes? Here, I've penned a letter with my personal reassurances that her stock will be returned none the worse for wear. Alright. Where are these guys running? Somewhere where they're just, you know, disappearing. Okay, back to Mordona. What does Ymitra have to say? You have Rambros's letter, yes? I'll let you do the haggling. But he's so glib, you know? He'll just stare at her in a stony silence. Aye, what can I do for you? Rambros's letter? Polite request to borrow tomestones penned by the meticulous hand of Rambros and addressed to Rowena. So you've the backing of old Rambros, eh? Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to lend you some of my tombstones. In fact, I'll do you one better and let you borrow the transcripts, courtesy of the scribes at the ironworks. As books, they're a damn sight heavier, but you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more coin if they know what they're getting, and my time's too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena. Thank you. Well, Gav, shall we get to work? Oh, good. We get a history lesson. Speak with Ymitra. She's like... She's trying to chase the cursor. Fancy that. I've barely begun skimming the very first volume, and there are already some promising passages. Let us wake Prin and share a finding, shall we? Ymitra says, "Ah, Rambros, have you come to check on our progress?" This charming tome is Principia, a sentient familiar of ancient Alleg. Principia says, "A pleasure to meet you, Master Rambros. Pray, call me Prin if you prefer." Rambros says, "Thank you, Prin, and might I say, what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct." Clever? Well, yes, apparently Prin was written that way. In fact, we were just hoping to hear an opinion on a new snippet of information I've uncovered. It was an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications, commanding that, quote, "the fruits of the Master's summoner's research be seized," unquote. It appears that the army had more than a passing interest in Sari's experiments. Rambros says, and what exactly was the purpose of this research? Principia says, Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with etherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums and sought to manifest Egi of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations. Rambros says, simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it? Correct! But Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments, no matter how they magnified his power. He would not place his trust in machines. Their inherently complex nature was too prone to error, he said. Ymitra says, the dates on these communications indicate a time in the latter half of Sari's life. Is it possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may have greatly altered the summoner's outlook? Principia says, there was, of course, the violent wave of anti-summoner sentiment that swept through Alleg. It claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within his laboratory. Rambros says, such an incident would certainly be responsible for changing a man. And Principia, you were unaware of subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes? Ymitra says, from what we've learned so far, 'tis safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way. And there are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf and ask to borrow the sharp minds of his summoner squad. 'Tis a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own. Rambros says, well, seeing as you have the transcripts and there is no need to travel far, you are welcome to make use of my tent and the reference materials on Alleg found therein. That would be an enormous help, thank you. Let's haul these books to the dig site, shall we? Looks like you walk off without him. Hello, hello. Welcome. Miriel is asleep. right next to my Azeron keypad, so I don't know if she's gonna sleep for a while now that she's had the zoomies for a little bit and ate. Meet with the Amitra at St. Coinax Find. Okay, let's fly on down there. Preferably not into the wall. So I was doing a recording of Copperbell Mines on a different alt, and she walked all over the keyboard. It was wild. All right, Crispin says, some people dislike this manner of task, but I never tire of dredging through pages that transport one to the past. Yeah, if you were reading a history book by a good writer, it can be really, really interesting. Judge Samu says, I've been ignoring aught that ain't to do with the military. 'Tis more efficient to have a narrow focus, I reckon. Like, it can be, yeah. Denise says, these Allegan records are like to make my skull burst, opening portals to other worlds, forging new moons, and it's not even fiction. So breaking the fourth wall there. Yamitra says, our summoner colleagues arrived with a swiftness after I relayed to them our request. It is well to see them recovered from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful. Jajasamu says, here's the bugger I was looking for. This is a record of when the military finally caught up with Sari. It says, here the summoner was found dead. Killed by someone else, it seems. Crispin says, then we have proof of the original Sari's demise in the Third Astral Era. Now there remains the question of who, or what, attacked us in this age. Then he says, my coin is on one of those clone creations. Is there aught more to the story, Lieutenant? Jajasamu says, it goes on to describe how the Imperial Army took over Sari's research, lauding his experiments as exceptionally dangerous but ripe with potential applications. They shifted operations to an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later, though, and that was the end of that. This artificial island must be a reference to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter with the present-day Sari. Principia says, during the battle, my creator's simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple Egi simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. The basis for every one of these unorthodox techniques can be traced back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhancing summoning. Crispin says, I'd say we have enough evidence to support a working theory then, namely that the Allegan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments, tests which explored the feasibility of etherochemically bolstered summoning magics. Try and say that 3 times fast. Hello, hello. Diddy says, and when we landed on Seal Rock, we must have somehow awoken the remnants of those experiments. Yamitra says, mayhap we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was, but now I would know the place to where he fled. What refuge exists for such a being? Judge Samu said, from what I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Etherochemical Research Facility. And Cav's going, I've been there. You know of this place, sir? Is it far? Yeah. As this law, if that's where they were keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Dini says, our squad will fly back to Seal Rock and make further investigations. The relics of the past may hold some hint that we haven't yet considered. Eulmore says, an excellent idea. Thank you. We shall return to Gridania for the time being. I really wanted to ask Prin if he was involved in Sari's death. I'm not sure I remember what happened there. Did you see something there, kitty? Something over there has her interest. What does Prin say? The simulacrum of Master Sari has sought to obstruct my creator's will, and I shall offer it no quarter. You deserve to learn the wisdom within my pages. I've received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations on Seal Rock. It would seem that certain of the Allagan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more in the way of useful information, however. I fear we must brave this Azisla facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said, I will be waiting? Principia says, it is possible. I do not think the detail important at the time, but the lock engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not of the strictest tier. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. Eulmore says, then he was goading us into finding and defeating him? Another challenge? Or is it simply a trap? I am not fond of rushing into the unknown. Gird yourself for the worst, Gav, and I will learn the present circumstances of the research facility. Oh, we get Summon Bahamut and Enhanced Dreadworm Trance if we do this one. Eulmore is ready to depart for Azisla. I've learned all there is to learn about the research facility. The time has come to make our move. From what my sister and her colleagues have told me, the laboratories are housed in an extremely dangerous quadrant of Azisla. We will not want to wander around inviting trouble, but rather plot the swiftest and safest route to our destination. Here's a hint. There is no fast way on Azisla. There should be a terminal located somewhere that will allow us to pinpoint the section where Sari's research is being stored. Once we arrive on Azisla, finding such a terminal will be our highest priority. I've informed Captain Wolf of our forthcoming expedition. He insisted that he and his summoner squad provide us with support. Let us make ready and meet him at Helix. Wait, okay, kitty. Come here. I can't see through you. You're not invisible. She just stepped on my keyboard. Hit F10. Put my carbuncle away. Rendezvous with Eulmore at Helix. Let's go do it. Okay. She jumped off the desk, so it may be a little bit before we have more kitten shenanigans. This is not going to be a dull moment today, I'm sure. Dancing Wolf says, have these runes truly existed for thousands of years? It's all so bright and sharp. It's been under a, protective dome the entire time. There are beasts from my worst nightmares simply strolling around up here. Bryn tells me they would have been contained in the days when the Allegans yet worked at this facility. Jaja Samu says, so this is what you get when you fuse the arcane with the mechanical, and neither is diminished by the result. Denise says, every hour turn there's a new wonder. I've pinched myself 10 times already just to make sure I'm awake. Yumitra says, Azazla is even more fantastical than I'd imagined. But we mustn't let ourselves be distracted by the scenery. We should fan out and search for a control panel of some description. Dancing Wolf says, and we can use that to plan the simplest route to the objective, yes? Jaja Samu says, aye, then we plunge ahead, swift and sure, and bring an end to that bastard clone. Yumitra says, that is my intention. 'Tis important to note, however, that we have yet to determine if our enemy is truly a clone or not. Even an artificial copy would appear as a living, breathing being. The man you fought on Seal Rock seemed almost otherworldly. Dancing Wolf says, I'm inclined to agree with you, Yumitra, but no matter what he is, we need to slay him to lift Prince Seal. The job remains the same. Or I wonder if what they found dead was a simulacrum. Yumitra says, true enough. Then we should first focus on finding that terminal. Gav, if you would, pray, search around the base of the Warring Triad statues. Dancing Wolf says, keep your guard up. If Sari knows we're coming, he may have prepared a welcome. Oh, I'm sure he did. Alright, let's see where we gotta go. Please tell me it's not halfway across the map. Well, the good news is it's not all the way across the map. It's only halfway across the map. So. This is such a pain in the neck. They really need to put, like, a little node up top here they can get to. An Ethernet shard in this area would be really, really, really nice. Said everybody ever, but have they put it in yet? No. I'm betting it's down below. I don't know how to operate the terminal. Okay, maybe it's on the other side. And hopefully I don't have to spend forever looking for the darn thing. Aha, here we go. Ooh, that's fun skill. Sorry, I predicted you would be the first to find me. A lesser summoner would have been slain. Looks kind of like Legolas. Ymitra says, Gaff! Then he says, Sari's clone, it's here! Clone? Ah, you seek to explain my existence. An understandable theory, but I am far more than one of those clumsy creations. You had best abandon this flawed perception, lest it lead you down the path to failure. I shall await you inside, potential. You will pass my test, your true final challenge, or you will die never knowing what I truly am. Dancing Wolf said, Thou's teeth, he's gone again. Did you see that, Gav? The way he vanished? 'Tis akin to the dismissal of a summoned entity. Judge Asamu says, So you're saying he's some sort of eggy? One that's wearing Sari's face? But how can he look so solid and, well, alive? Principia says, with the aid of a computational machine, it would be theoretically possible to construct ether into a near-perfect replica of Sari's corporeal form. He was summoned using a machine? Correct. Master Sari's research developed mechanical substitutes for grimoires. In fact, the lieutenant is standing right in front of one. Okay. Judge-sama says, This thing, eh? It looks a bit like them tomoliths on Seal Rock. Only they were much bigger. Gods, can the bugger pop up anywhere there's one of these devices? I think we can now safely assume that this Sari is the product of enhanced summoning magic. But our answer leaves us with yet another question. If Sari is the eggy, then who is the summoner? Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine... Oh, I missed that! Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine, there must still exist the one who commands it. Judge-sama says, We've got to find the master then. If we don't squash the summoner, the bastard will just bring the Sari Eggy back again and again and again. Principia says, Whomever the bastard may be, he or she must be concealed somewhere nearby. An entity will always be summoned within a certain distance of the summoner. Even machine-enhanced techniques cannot circumvent this basic principle. That our antagonist chose not to make an appearance on Seal Rock suggests a reluctance to expose himself to direct harm. In this location, however, with so many computational devices near to hand, I expect the foe's art will be significantly bolstered. Dancing Wolf says, So the Eggy will be even stronger than last time? All the more reason to take down this summoner quickly before we're swamped by ethereal horrors. Ymitra says, Well, I've brought a little device that should help. An etherometer I borrowed from my sister, Stola. If I can detect the right currents, it should lead us straight to our hidden enemy. Dancing Wolf says, Excellent, Ymitra. That may make all the difference. Right, let's be about it then. Summoner Squad, take the van and clear the way forward. Judge-sama says, Aye, we've been waiting for the chance to prove ourselves. You just focus on finding the summoner and we'll sweep aside the dregs. Gav says, But what if I want to fight too? Alright. Ymitra, the Summoner Squad will see to it that we have a clear path through the facility. Let us move swiftly and repay their dedication with a resounding victory. Crispin says, We've not been idle since that last debacle, sir. I'm eager to show you the results of our training. Denise says, Well, you couldn't ask for a more dramatic locale for a final confrontation. Assuming we survive all of this, we will sure have a tale to tell our barracks mates. Jaja-samu, whatever sport you need, sir, we're here to give it. We'll not leave till you've busted that summoner's head and got the rewards you damn well deserve. Bryn says, Go forth and defeat this imposter, Master. The wisdom of my creator belongs to you. Alright, we got instance duty here. I don't remember this one at all, so we're gonna walk our way through it blind. Dancing Wolf says, ready for round 2, Gav? The terminal has provided us with a direct route to the research storage chamber. We're going to rip through this facility and take Sari's clone apart. Alright. Prince says, it is an ethereal entity, Captain Wolf, not a clone, and I must point out that your true objective is the summoner rather than the servant. Right, I knew that. As we planned then. Summoner squad front and center, carve Gav a path through. Aye, Captain. Ymitra, you're in charge of finding whoever's pulling this imposter Sari's strings. Let's go. Alright. Let's do it. Sari says, wonderful, you've done well to make it this far. Dancing Wolf says, the summoner has to be around here somewhere, Ymitra. Use your gadget, I'll buy you some time. Dancing Wolf says, we came here to remove the seal you put on Principia. Do as we ask, and this can all end peacefully. Sari says, I'm sorry, Captain. I'm afraid I can't do that. To do so would run contrary to the purpose for which I was created. Surely by now you have come to realize my true nature? Principia says, you are an Eggy in the form of my creator, an existence made possible through a fusion of summoning magic and etherochemical technology. But while Master Sari was the last of the great summoners of Alag, you are not more than an elaborate imitation, and you are no match for the summoner who now stands before you. Aw, thanks, Prin. I love the support. Sari says, very good, but your conjecture has missed the mark. What I am is a defense mechanism that is capable of self-enhancement in order to combat ever greater threats. Shall I phrase this in simple terms? In the event that I encounter a presence with greater potential than Sari, I am compelled to harness that potential through main force and compose its ether into a new guardian entity. Dancing Wolf, you mean to kill Gav and make an Eggy of the Warrior of Light? Have we reached an understanding? A peaceable conclusion to this encounter was never forthcoming. Principia says, his reasoning is broken down. Your deeds have saved countless lives and will continue to do so. How can one justify killing you, Master, when you embody the very principles for which summoning magic was invented? Dancing Wolf, Ymitra, any luck finding that summoner? I've finished tracing the threads. The camouflage is impressive, but I am still shocked that we missed something of that size. Our true enemy is up there. A giant orb. How observant of you. You have uncovered Master Summoner Sari's greatest masterpiece, an artificially sentient evocation matrix. Second Sari says, the complexity of my design simply cannot be compared to the primitive principles found in Principia's construction. Oh, now you're dissing the book, man. How can you diss the book? Third Sari says, your defeat is inevitable. Orb, right? Yes. Principia says, tough talk for an aging machine whose logic channels have obviously rusted from disuse. Master, might you and your companions dispose of this unsightly and unseemly amalgamation of refuse? I think Prin's a little upset. Right, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. An art for the living. Defeat the evocation matrix. I think we have to get rid of these. I'm not sure when to use Searing Light. Oh goody, more. You gotta get rid of these summoners, I guess, to make him vulnerable, I think is what the deal is. My lungs are failing, oh my god. Uh-oh. Alright, back to the dude. But wait, there's more! Oh, I don't want to be in the middle of that. I'm going to make sure to keep that proximity thing away from, Oh, let's get out of that. Alright, let's focus on the summoning node. There we go. That makes them all disappear. We did it again! We won! Yes, we did. Incipia says, I never doubted you, Master. May I suggest we now exit this unpleasant place? Yes. Yes, please. Wait, where did Captain Wolf go? Jajasamu says, so a machine built by Sari was summoning an Eggie that looked like Sari. Them Alligans didn't see much use for the line betwixt idea and reality, did they? No, they didn't. Congratulations, sir. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine a thinking machine would be the villain behind all that chaos. Crispin says, I wish I could have seen your victory firsthand. As things stood, we were far too busy keeping the rest of the facility's hostiles at bay. Britton says, an inspiring triumph, Master. Your coordination with Lady Yamitra and Captain Wolf was truly a thing of beauty. Aw, Prin. You flatter me. I've never been so loved by a book in my life. Yumitra says, a stunning victory, Gav. We've won the day, but Captain Wolf wished to stay behind and conduct a thorough search. I told him it was still too dangerous to wander alone, but... Crispin says, but the captain is a stubborn man. Not to worry, though. If aught should have happened, we'll soon charge off to fight at his side. Captain Wolf will call if he needs us. We should be celebrating here. Does this not mean Prince's seal is now broken? Principia says, Master's success is indeed something to be celebrated. I was not crafted to experience emotion, but I do feel a certain rustle of satisfaction in my pages. Jajasamu says, once you have mastered them high and mighty techniques, you'll be stronger than ever. Well, I think I'd rather learn by your example anyway, instead of them from musty scrolls written by some long-dead Allagan summoner. Principia said, it is in the hopes of achieving just such an outcome that I awoke from my slumber. The art of the summoning is for the living, as my creator was once so fond of declaring. Yumitra says, Gav, Prin, let us say our farewells for the moment. Thank you for your aid, everyone. We could not have done this without you. Ooh, I like the glasses he has on. Those are kind of cool looking. All right. Do they have anything else for us? Don't get lazy with your summoning now. Next time we meet, I mean to be your equal in the art. Denise says, so Machine was using machines to summon Eggy. Can you even call that magic anymore, or is it just another form of technology? That's an interesting question. Crispin says, we will wait here for the captain. As much as I would like to assist you in the main battle, I am proud that we contributed to your success. All right. Back to Gridania. And I need to take a very quick break. And we'll finish out that cutscene. And we're back. Sage P said, typically searing is used right after Dreadworm Trance / Bahamut. Great tip. Great tip. Because I don't main this particular class. And I have not had time to, you know, really master it. Because I much prefer melee DPS. I think out of the 4 magic DPS classes, this is probably my favorite of the bunch. Although I haven't gotten Black Mage and Red Mage to level 100 because they play really, really slow to me at lower levels. And I feel like I'm just standing there pushing a button and waiting and pushing another button and waiting, you know. And the melee DPS or the ranged physical DPS just do a lot more, so it's more interesting. I'm sure at higher levels this is like way better, but anyway, yeah, so I really don't know how to play this class well at all. So I appreciate the tip. So let me see, like, searing is used right after Dreadworm Trance. Bahamut. Okay. Alright. I got them right next to each other, so hopefully I'll remember that next time. Dancing Wolf. I completed a thorough investigation of the research facility before I left. My findings were worth the time and the danger, I think. You can't say that and keep us in suspense like that. It's not fair. Welcome back, Master. It is almost that time. Demetra says, welcome back, Cav. You were only meant to face 3 challenges, and we ended up chasing your prize into the heavens themselves. Prin says, an unexpected development which you handled with exceptional grace, Master, and now, at long last, I can finally bequeath to you the highest secrets of summoning. Pray, step forward. Is Miriel in my office? I just heard, like, it's like paper rustling thing, and we have some boxes in our office, and she's jumped into one of them a couple times. The joys of having a kitten around. Pray, step forward. Yay! I have no idea what that did. What a momentous occasion! The wisdom of the last of Aleg's master summoners is yours. Ere you depart to explore your newfound powers, however, Captain Wolf has a report for us. It should explain much of what occurred on Isis Law. Dancing Wolf says, I wanted to be sure that machine was truly undone, and after poking around inside it, I discovered a number of soul crystals. According to Principia, they belonged to Sari's disciples. The captain also unearthed a tombstone containing undoctored records of that age. 'Twould seem that following the murder of his students, Sari became increasingly bitter. Well, I could see that. Could definitely see that. I mean, if all your friends were killed by some lunatic, right? How would you feel? Not very happy. He began to doubt that the future could be safely entrusted to the capricious whims of mortals. Instead, he explored other methods by which new generations might be safeguarded from the threats of primal, and committed himself to etherochemical research. Princess, as you may have surmised, the evocation matrix was the end result of Master Sari's toil. Drawing on its embedded soul crystals and unrivaled computational power, this terrible invention was capable of manifesting a veritable host of ethereal avatars. Dancing Wolf says, Once he was satisfied with his work, Sari commanded the machine to act as civilization's mightiest guardian, and then he killed himself. His ethereal essence was absorbed, and a formidable Eggy was added to his invention's arsenal. So, now you know the truth of it. Ymitra says, what a price to pay to ensure that the art of summoning survived unto the morrow. After failing to protect his disciples, I wonder if he meant to preserve their soul crystals in their stead. Dancing Wolf says, even if that were his intention, he chose the wrong way to achieve it. Prin here is the embodiment of the hopeful ideals of Sari's younger self. The murderous machine of his latter years is the product of frustration and anger and grief. But what shall we do with the crystals? We cannot risk them falling into the hands of another villain like Tristan. Principia says, if you wish, I could swallow the crystals and hold them safe until another era has need of them. My enchantments would ensure that they pass only on into the hands of the worthy. Swallow? You mean to eat them? Fear not, Captain. I have no digestive tract of which to speak. And now that I have instructed Master in the wisdom of Alec, this task shall be the last I perform ere I return to slumber. Wait, so this is farewell? Correct, or mayhap more appropriately, good night. As a familiar, I was not inspelled to experience loneliness. I was, however, written with the knowledge that it is best not to draw out a parting of ways with needless sentimentality. Dancing Wolf says, no tears for you then, eh, Prin? Summoning magic was created to combat the threat of the primals. The ideal world is one in which I would never again awaken. Wield the art well, Master. Off to dreamland, just like that. I suppose Prin's purpose is served, and that's the same as happiness to a familiar. Speaking of serving one's purpose, it's time I took my leave. Ymitra says, aye, the tasks of the morrow beckon to us all. Let us do what we may, so that Prin might rest peacefully for many years to come. Alright, so we get Summon Bahamut, enters Dreadroom Trance and summons the Demi-Bahamut to fight your target. He'll execute Worm Wave automatically on the targets attacked by you after summoning. Increases enmity in target when Demi-Bahamut is summoned. Additional effect, changes Ruin 3 to Astral Impulse and Outburst to Astral Flare. Additional effect, grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. Can only be executed while Carbuncle is summoned. Does not share a recast timer with any other actions. Enhanced Dreadworm Trance. Upgrades Dreadworm Trance to Summon Bahamut. Okay, that's pretty cool. And we get a Channeler's Tire Coffer. Which hopefully does not have some, like, ugly piece of gear. This concludes the summoner quest to Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. Shadowbringers must be registered to your service account, and you must have completed the main scenario quest, Shadowbringers. You must have completed the role quest, A Tearful Reunion. Once you have done so, the next summoner quest will be available from Ymitra. See what we get out of that. Oh, this is Sari's outfit. That's actually kind of cool looking. Not dyeable though. But I like the colors on it. So if you're into, like, you know, tattoos and you know, the midriff showing kind of thing. That could be cool. It's even got tattoos on the legs there. Those could be cool boots if I could dye them. Antiquated Lemegeton. Well, I wonder if that's better than what I've got. $290. Nope, mine's way better. Item level 290 versus item level 400. I think I'll keep the item level 400. Thank you very much. Okay, usually I hate the summoner headgear with, you know, the unicorn horn coming out at you, but this one's not too bad. Still not going to wear it. Does Yumitra have anything? The signs were kind enough to let me know that your Stola is safe and well, a relief to be sure, but I pray you watch over her when you may. How fare things of late? If we'd never found Prin, would we have ever learned so much about one of Alec's greatest summoners or encountered his misguided machine? The art of summoning holds great potential for saving lives, but taken too far in the wrong direction, it can just as easily become a tool of destruction. The Sons of St. Koinak have taken it upon themselves to record our experiences with Sari in great detail, a cautionary tale for future generations. And yet there are those who worry that such records would be misused. They argue that all details of the technology should be expunged. What is the correct choice, I wonder? Keep the information. Okay, let's return to Eulmore. Speak with Elfino and write. And what does Reen say? This aura, what could it be? I'm gonna load up on food. I like to have the extra XP. It's very handy at times. Alfino says, "There you are, Gav. The others have gone ahead to reconnoiter Gate Town. We are to follow shortly." It has been a while, has it not, since the two of us infiltrated Eulmore? Since we faced Lord Vothri, and I felt such fury as I have never felt before. His actions are unconscionable, of course, and any abhorrence I felt for him entirely justified. Yet mingled with my rage, there was... something else. At first I was unsure what it was, but in the course of our struggles I found the answer. In Vothri's self-righteousness, in his absolute belief that he, and he alone, is the cure to the world's ills, I saw a reflection of myself, and it brought the memories of all my past follies flooding back. He is the vainglorious, ignorant fool I once was, and having shared in his affliction, I feel duty-bound to open his eyes to the truth. I'm not sure he's going to like that. Whether he will accept it with the good grace I did is another question. There is one thing for that, Alfino. You did accept it with mostly good grace. What is it, Reen? Do you sense the Light Warden? I'm not sure. The aura is different. Perhaps if we were closer. Elfino says, "'Tis time we were on our way in any case. Let us join our comrades in Gate Town." Gav, as a precaution, may I ask that you go first to ensure the path is clear? The closer we are to Eulmore, the more I worry that Reen may be recognized. If you see any prying eyes along the way, pray encourage their owners to look elsewhere. Well, maybe we could put a disguise on her or something. I don't know. All right, let's go discourage bad guys. Delirious youth. Voth. You hail the civilian, but he does not respond and continues his incoherent rambling. Agitated man. Lord Vothri, we hear. We obey. Sorry. I apologize that I had to kill you. Euphoric youth. He does look euphoric, doesn't he? Staring at Eulmore there. Long live Lord Vothri. Long live Lord Vothri. Okay. He's kind of ensorcelled them somehow. Ah, fearful man. What's happening? What's wrong with everyone? Hallowed be his name. Oh. Blessed is the meal. Lord Vothri, long may you reign. That one's going, wait a minute, what's wrong with these people? Trying to get their attention. Urianger says, our mission hath begun on a strange note. Okay, we got weird stuff going on here. That's what he's saying. Ah, good of you to join us. I was debating whether to warn you, but it's too late now. I take it you notice the people behaving strangely along the path? It's more of the same here. Yestola and Alize are investigating as we speak. Let's wait and see what they have to say. I don't need this food, so I'm just gonna take the silver pieces. See if anything else for us? The gears are clearly turning in Urianger's mind. Why don't you ask him what he makes of all this? What are you wasting your time talking to me? Go talk to Urianger. He's dying to tell you something. Urianger is trying to make sense of the strange phenomenon afflicting the residents of Gate Town.
passing strange.
Yeah.
By their behavior, we may safely assume that they are under Vorthri's mind control. Yet the extent of the effect seemeth to vary dramatically between subjects. It is far too pronounced to be attributed simply to the vagaries of innate magical resistance.
Curiouser and curiouser.
It's a line from a book, I think.
We met with no trouble en route. My thanks for securing the way. But given the state of the townsfolk, I see we were never in any danger of being recognized.
What can you tell us from here?
I sense a powerful eater in the uppermost reaches of the city. But there's something different about it. Its light is impure. We need to get closer.
Oh, so that one's Alphino. Well, unless you're triplets.
Kaishir, what are you doing here?
While I was scouting the area, I noticed a suspicious figure skulking about. So I accosted him, only to have him call me Alphino. I thought it best to bring him along.
Alize hates being called Alphino.
You see, that informant who's been feeding secrets to the Crystarium, it's me. See, after you saved my life in Eulmore, I thought about going somewhere far away, but I couldn't just leave, not without paying you back. So I decided to stay here, keep an eye on things, and whenever I spotted something strange, I shared it with your friends.
That took no small amount of courage. Well done.
I assume you saw what happened here.
Right, so an airship flew in a bit ago, and not long after, Vorthri starts ranting and raving. You could hear him from all the way out here. Geezer was doing his nut, shouting and screaming like someone had nicked his pie.
It is like the airship bore the soldiers sent to thwart our efforts in Armorang.
She says it's probably the airship that was carrying the soldiers sent to, thwart our efforts in Namarang.
So eventually the yelling dies down, and then this hot, sticky wind comes blowing through. Now that's when everyone went funny. No, everyone but me. Well, me and a couple of newcomers, though even they started mumbling about Vorthri after a while. Not as bad as the rest, mind you.
Newcomers.
There's something I need Reen to see. This was among the townfolk's food stores.
Oh, that's just meal. Eulmore doles his stuff out.
No, it couldn't be. I know what it is.
Yes, it could be.
It's Sin Eater. Meal is made out of Sin Eater.
So it is. In limited quantities, it may have little effect on an average individual. Yet if one were to consume it regularly, over a period of several years, I suspect it would do far, far more than merely nourish the body.
That Vorthri wieldeth power. It would serve to explain why the town's newer arrivals succumbed less quickly than those raised on a diet of meal.
So, I accidentally hit a button there. Miriel just says that Vorthri wieldeth power over sin eaters is known. Could it be that those who partake of their flesh do thereby render themselves susceptible to his influence? So, it's, you know, Vothri wields power over Sin Eaters, of course, and could it be that anyone who eats the Sin Eaters, you know, the meal, becomes susceptible to his influence? And that would serve to explain why the town's newer arrivals, you know, didn't succumb as quickly compared to those who were raised on a diet of meal.
He's been rounding up Sin Eaters and feeding them to people.
Ugh.
Altering them mouthful by mouthful, all to stop them answering back. There are desperate souls out there killing themselves to escape turning. This is unforgivable. An atrocity.
Yeah, think about that. This is your best friend that you might be eating. That's just gross. It's just gross. Gross. Or family. Ugh. Ugh.
These Sin Eaters. What if they are not simply rounded up? Do you remember what we were told when first we came to the city? Many enter, but none leave.
Vothri is a sick bastard. That's all I have to say.
Let us put an end to it. To this paradise built upon the bones of the poor.
The clenched fist is apparently a characteristic of Japanese anime to express frustration, to show how strongly somebody feels without, you know, being overly emotional about it. Because, you know, in America, you know, we show our emotions. We have no problem with that. Japan is not a culture that values that, you know, let it all out kind of boisterousness that we do. So they're much more subtle about it.
Vothri's deeds are beyond justification, beyond forgiveness. Evil.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
It's highly probable that the Light Warden is waiting for us somewhere in there, and I'm all for going after it. But our enemies know our faces. They know that we are coming, and they will not let us through without a fight. Like it or not, the time for stealth is past. Now, my friend, if you would be so good as to lead the charge.
Thanks. Put me in charge. We got some fighting ahead of us. All right, let's talk to all our friends. My heart is gripped by an unshakable sense of foreboding. Let us proceed with all care, says. Oh, man. I have a bad feeling about this. Let's be careful. Thancred says, we are like to encounter Ranjit again. One can only hope he's still licking his wounds. But even without him, Eulmore is an eminently defensible city, as you doubtless gleaned during your visit. When last I set foot inside its walls, I almost mistook it for dear old Limsa, but it is full of unpleasant surprises, all of which is a long way of saying, be on your guard. Reen says, the uppermost level of the city houses Vothri's chambers. He must keep the warden close. Kaishir? Mule is an eater? Wait, we all scoffed the stuff without a second thought. I never got near as much as the others, but the bitter greens and bony fish I got by on don't seem so bad no more. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Pretty gross. I'm fine, Gav. Shaking with fury, but fine. Let's go. No, you're not fine, Alize. No, you're not. Yustola says, that Vothri should so brazenly exert his influence over the people bespeaks his desperation. He will not go quietly. Alright. This is an instance quest. Feast of Lies, I'm sure it's called. I have not looked at the tutorial for this. So hopefully we'll get through it okay. When we step through the gates, Alfino says, we shall find not the place of hedonistic pleasure we will remember, but a battlefield. If you are prepared for this, then let us sally forth. Alright, level sync is effect. If you're above the max allowed level, it'll be synced as follows to level 77 and item level 412.
I can feel it. A dark presence in my domain. Ah! It's them! The villains who would sow chaos in my perfect paradise! Keep them away from me! I command you! Keep them away!
That must mean his, you know, his mind control here.
Long live Lord 4-3.
He would use his own people as shields.
This area is older than Gatetown. There are bound to be far more civilians under Volthra's control. But they do not act of their own free will, and we must not harm them.
As if we ever would.
Yeah.
Press on with Alphino. We'll hold off the civilians and join you as soon as we can.
It's gonna zombify them. Climb to the next level. Do no more than is necessary to subdue the civilians. Oh, we can't get through here. Have care you two, the rest of you with me.
May the 12 guide you.
Their minds are not their own, remember. Avoid harming them whenever possible. I don't think we have much choice here. Wait. You shall not pass. Welcome to Uriange's strength. The way's clear. Come on, you two. So basically we're gonna just stay out of the AoEs here. Right, my turn to make a heroic stand. As soon as there's a lull, push on. Now, yeah, into the tower.
Pay me back later.
Just you take care, Alize. Oh, we got the junglers here. a good life here, seeing we're not about to lose it. But fair is fair, we'll give you something. And this is what they said. Impalement arts. I'm gonna get one of these down. Yes! Actually, no. I think it's sad. So it's good to block some of that damage. Let us climb to the canopy. From there, we'll take the crown lift. Alfino, how about you heal yourself up? Still more soldiers. Leave them to me and press on. I can't even target them. I imagine we're gonna have to fight Ranjit. Aha, there's our buddy.
You will find my master in his chamber. But only should you kill me this day, and you will not.
So you can say, why do you go this far? Or you're one of his puppets too. Yeah, let's do that one. A little taunting.
You may think me under his spell, but I uphold Lord Vorthry's ideals of my own volition.
It's like, why?
Man is an inherently flawed creature. In his vain pursuit of righteousness, he but sows the seeds of future conflict. Thus, have I chosen to place my hopes upon he who has transcended men, upon he who is unbound by the vagaries of conscience.
So, psychopath supporting a psychopath. Okay. Sure.
But enough talk. I am a soldier, and you are my enemy. Come, let us settle this once and for all.
Make sure you have a food buff on. Defeat Ranjit. I think you have a moment to do what you need to do before he attacks, so just put one more on so it doesn't run out. I don't think a battle will last half an hour, but, you know, better be safe than sorry. Alright. Ever since I submitted to my master's authority, I've been naught but a weapon. Obviously. Cartoon cycle, remember? We want to be out of unceremonious beheading. So he's doing a lot of the same moves that he did in the previous fight. Unceremonious beheading, you have to get out. Cartoon cycle, you have to get in. Hot pursuit, I forgot. Oh, that's, it makes the little circles around you. Oh, living flame, okay. I believe we have to kill the flames. You want to be in between those as quickly as possible. I hit a knockback skill, but I don't think I hit it fast enough, or I wasn't paying attention and you can't actually knock it back. Let's make a safe spot for ourselves. Yeah, you only have to kill one of them. You don't need to kill all of them, because they're gonna self-destruct. Nexus of Thunder. It's time we settled this, then, villain. Shattered Sky. Nexus of Thunder is his, he does 2 line attacks, a cross attack, followed by another cross attack. Just stay out of those when he does that. Got it. Living flame, okay. We're gonna go to the edge here. As soon as those blow up, we're gonna immediately move over to this spot here that doesn't blow up. Then we're gonna go back in the center. Cartoon cycle. Ageless Serpent, okay. Okay, we gotta kill these heads ASAP. Because he's channeling their skills there. So that's Torrid Glory that he was channeling there. So I found out if you don't kill him fast enough, you fail the duty. I think the first time I did this, I focused on him and ignored them. And you cannot ignore him. Ah, there you are, my precious girls. Wait. What? He had daughters? Alfino says, "Are you all right, Cav?" Thankful says, the citizens appear to have calmed down for the moment. I can only assume Vothri is otherwise engaged. Let's get to the upper level while we can. Wait, what did he say there at the very end? If we've got a moment. Oh, he's stuffing his face. Ugh. All of his sin eaters are gone.
Lord Vothri, your reign of tyranny is at an end. For too long you have preyed upon the desperation of the poor. Now you will answer for the suffering you have caused. And if you harbor even a shred of remorse, I beseech you to use your powers to redress the balance for the future of all in Norvrant.
No, it can't be. This is wrong. It's wrong. The Warden, it's not just a Sin Eater. It's a man.
Oh.
Remorse? For the future of all? What nonsense is this? There is no justice but mine. No future but mine. No will but mine. It is preordained. I was born to deliver this wretched world. Me? Unseated? No. It's impossible. Inconceivable. Absurd. I am a great and wise king. Greatest and wisest. I reign from on high. I will not be brought low by maggots like you! Ah!
So he's worse than a toddler, man. Holy cow. Needs it.
Yes, of course. I can begin again. Rebuild my paradise. Once I finish my dinner.
Ugh. How about no? Okay.
No, stop him. Thancred, stop him.
He ate the fork, even. Don't know what that was.
Where did he go?
Did Vorthri do that?
We must give chase.
Wait! That is Mount Gulg, the highest peak in Calusia. It lies on the other side of a sheer cliff, and much as I wish it were otherwise, it is beyond our reach for now. But even if it weren't, there are people here who need our help.
Oh, Alphino.
Please, even if it's only to tend to their wounds.
You say I'll help too, or you don't need my permission, or be quick about it. You don't need my permission.
Thank you.
I don't know if it will work, but if Vorthri's hold over the people is rooted in light, I might be able to reverse its effects. Will you let me try?
Of course. We'd be grateful for any help you can provide.
Well then, if it's decided, let's all get to work.
We're coming for you, Vorthri. We're coming. Ah, the implications of meal. Ah, yuck. Ugh. Good news, Gav. It would seem that Reen is indeed able to reverse the effects of Vorthri's influence. Even as we speak, she tends to the afflicted in turn, the problem being there's no end to them. We're trying to provide what relief we can to those who are waiting, and we appreciate your help if you're willing. Well, of course. You can now attune with the Aetheryte and Eulmore, thank God. We'll do that in just a moment. Thancred has a task for you. So, here's some dream powder. We're administering it to the enthralled to keep them calm until they can receive proper attention. I would appreciate it if you could assist with this task. Now, those affected are scattered all over the city. I suggest starting your search at the derelicts and working your way up. When you're done, be sure to let Reen know. Let's go tune before we do anything else. We missing any spots? No? We got them all on... Good. Let's see if we got to repair anything. Materia extraction. I'm going to check this periodically. Derelicts, he said. Let's do that. And register a favored. Alphino says, my thanks again, Gav. We will seek out the wounded and render what aid we can. What's Calmet have to say? What's the matter with everyone? I feel like I've missed something. Apparently you didn't eat the meal. And of course I can't fly here. Or even ride him out. Oh, Lord Vothri, you are my daily meal. You're my daily meal. Yeah, boss. The food we get from Eulmore is mainly meal and the produce that isn't pretty enough for this rich to stomach. Combined with fresh fish, though, makes a damn fine stew. Alright, where do we gotta go next? Administer dream powder to Theorich. Okay. It's about ready to miss that objective there. Snore, snore. Okay. Search for the enthralled civilians in the understory. Yes, I know you. Yes, yes, you do. Oh, it hurts. Please, Lord Vothri, take away the pain. You're the kind soul who saved me from falling to my death. My mistress, she's been injured. Please help her, I beg you. What is this? She's sleeping. A medicine to help her rest while she awaits treatment, you say? Oh, thank you so much. When she began acting strangely, I didn't know what to do. Do you have anything else for us? I won't leave my mistress's side. Okay. Search for enthralled civilians in the canopy. Must stop trespassers sullying our paradise. Where did you fly to, my sweet canary? Okay, he's dreaming now. Alright, speak with Reen. I tire of this place. Come. Bewildered citizen. Oh, what happened? It says, oh, there you are, Gav. I've just finished dating this man. Now for the next one. More out in the derelicts and below, she says. So many of them. But Minfilia trusted this power to me. I won't rest until I've helped everyone. You could say I'll go and see to the wounded, or I can bring the enthralled to you. I'll bring him to him. Oh, that would certainly make it easier for me to work. Thank you, Gav. I'll do my best to keep pace.
going to be all right.
I think that's the last of them.
We've done all we can for the wounded. As for the rest...
Aren't you Alphino? The painter boy? What in the world is going on? Did something happen to us?
Does anybody want to explain?
Let me handle this.
Thank God. I don't want to tell people they've been eating meal all this time. Ugh.
Citizens of Eulmore, what I'm about to tell you will come as a shock. Indeed, you may be loath to believe it, but if you trust the evidence of your senses, it is my hope that you will listen and accept the truth, unpalatable though it may be. Vorthri is a sin-eater. Everything he offered, everything he promised, was a lie.
They're not taking it well, and who could blame them?
Yeah, I just ate my cousin for breakfast. I mean, that sounds like...
saying we were Vorthri's puppets all this time?
When you attacked us, you were not yourselves. That much is true. But your conduct prior to that moment was your own. Vorthri's unnatural charisma does not absolve you of all responsibility. Of your own free will, you came to this city and gave yourselves over to its pleasures. And in the course of this, if you mistreated those less fortunate than you, then that too was of your own free will. It is not for me to judge you, but for your victims, for history, for your conscience. You have dreamed a twisted dream, but now you are awake.
I don't see Julia Chai as being one of those. I mean, she was self-absorbed, but I don't think she was mean-spirited.
You may yet share this world of ours. Join with us and each other, that we might begin anew. We've lost so many already. We dare not lose any more. I have said my piece. My thanks for giving me the chance. There is nothing more to be done here. Let us go after Vorthri.
Is there anything we can do to help? You risked your lives to bring us to our senses, and I, for one, hope to repay that debt. Begin anew, as you said.
Vorthri has fled to Mount Gulg, and we mean to pursue him. Do any of you know the way?
The only way to Mount Gulg is over the Bright Cliff. Have you an airship?
We will contemplate flight only as a last resort. Were we to come under attack whilst airborne, we would have little hope of defending ourselves. If at all possible, we would prefer to travel by land. Is there a way?
Well, the ladder is the only way up and down the cliff, but it hasn't moved in a long time. In the old days, it was operated by the mining folk who lived at the top.
After the flood, it saw less and less use, and when Lord Vorthry took control, it was abandoned altogether.
So we somehow need to get the ladder working again.
It moves by means of a Talos, if that's any help. But good luck repairing that.
Talos? Did someone say Talos? You know all about them, don't you, dearest? If anyone can get this lift moving, it's you.
Well, perhaps. But see here.
Oh, yes. If you want the golem restored, you may leave it to my husband. For he happens to be the heir to Daedalus Stoneworks, foremost makers of Talos, whose contracts include the renowned mining venture of Armoreng.
Well, it's been years and years since I had anything to do with it. I can't just pick up a hammer and set to work.
Wait. I just got volunteered.
You can't.
No, that's not what I... It's just... All right, I will take a look at the Talos. But beyond that, I make no promises. Those with strong backs, come with me. I'll need help dragging the damn thing out of the storehouse.
Well done, brother.
Fina's going, what did I just do there? Good job, man. Good job. I love Lady Chai.
Come, my friend. We have work to do.
I love the waltz theme in here. I can see somebody dancing a waltz to it. It'd be really cool. I wonder if anybody's ever created a waltz for it. Alfino's eyes glisten with joy. The ladder is situated to the north and west of Right. Let us make our way there, Gav. We're 48 to the northeast. Okay. Probably about up top. Alright, let's go up to the ladder. If you had to pin me down on my favorite character in this, it'd be the Exarch. There's just... I just love his character. Julia Chai is a lot of fun. She says, bottom rung they call this place. How very apt. Apparently, it used to be the control center for the ladder and a bustling hub of transport. Its glory days are far behind it. Chai News. First things first, a 50-point inspection. Wouldn't do to have them falling to pieces now. Why are you standing there gawping? There's lots to be done, so go and make yourself useful. Tulia Chai says, to see my darling Chai so engrossed in his work, I think I'm falling in love again. Ah. She feels so adorable. Alfino says, the latter is a sturdy piece of engineering, but much may go wrong after 20 years of disuse. Let us be doubly thorough with its maintenance. Yeah, you know, I don't think I'd want to fall from that high of, height. That would be bad. Gav, dost thou see yonder pair of Talos? Okay, Gav, do you see those two Talos over there? For a blessing. They were found to be in good repair. Master Chai prepareth to activate them as we speak. Well, thank goodness we found them in good repair, and Master Chai is getting ready to activate them. With our arcane knowledge, Y'shtola and I will serve as his assistants. At the appointed hour, we shall imbue the golems with ether. All right, with our arcane knowledge, Y'shtola and I are going to be his assistants, and when he's ready, we're going to imbue the golems with some ether. Others, meanwhile, attend to the ladder itself, which hath too long lain neglected. Extensive maintenance will be needed ere it can move again, as well as myriad materials with which to perform it. If thou art willing, we would prevail upon thee to procure lumber. You can count on me. My thanks, Gav. Directly to the south, thou wilt find a dry dock, Venmont Yards. Pray, see if thou canst persuade the folk there to part with some lumber for our cause. So, to translate all that, meanwhile, others attend to are taking care of the ladder itself. It's been neglected for too long. We're going to need to do extensive maintenance on it to get it to moving again, and we need a bunch of stuff to do that. If you're willing, we could ask you to go get some lumber. And Gav, of course, is he gonna say no? No, he's a warrior of light. He does good stuff. Let's go see if you can persuade the folk in directly south. You'll find a dry dock, Venmont Yards. Go see if you can persuade the folks there to part with some lumber for the cause. Thank you to whomever activated the buffs. You know, I could probably get off this and go on the faster mount. This one's a little faster. You want them later on your alt. I heard we're killing Vothri. Wow. I still want to do the trial with Gav. I don't know how far we are from that trial. Oh, there, Sinner. Haven't seen you around before. New to Gate Town, I take it. If you need lumber for a shack, you've come to the right place. We can do the building for you too, but that'll cost extra. You want lumber to restore the ladder? Why in the world would anyone want to do that? If you don't have the coin, least you can do is come up with a believable excuse. But look, I'm not one to turn folk away. I'll give you your lumber if you do me a favor in return. I've just finished taking stock of our supply and was about to do another round for good measure. I want you to do the counting instead, and we'll see if the total matches mine. Now, some of the lumber is lying around the yard. Let me get pen and pencil out here. I gotta do math. We're gonna do it right. As I remember, I had to like keep track of all this stuff last time, and I didn't. There's like 6 different numbers you have to keep in your head. Right. Now, some of the lumber's lying around the yard, but most of it is kept in the storehouse. For these, you can just ask Greithel for the number. Here, I'll lend you some writing material so you can take notes. Thanks. Take stock of the supply of lumber at the shipyard. What you learn can be reviewed in your key items. Yeah, I can't wait to kill Vothri. Just can't wait. Greithel! Taking stock for Ervith, are you? Well, last encounter we had 68 planks in the storehouse. Okay, storehouse. 68. 9 of those were rotted, though. So we tossed them out. Okay, -9. So we're done to 59. Oi, Greithel, another load's just arrived, says the shipwright. 13 planks all told, but one's damaged. It's only good for kindling now. Alright, so we got plus 12. So 71. Right then, bring the good ones here and we'll be sure to let Ervith know as well. So, how many planks does that make now? You're writing down these numbers anyway, right? I'm sure you can work it out. Yes, actually we were. You jot down the details of the conversation. Can I full pull the dungeon? You're writing those numbers down, right? Okay, let's see our key items. Scrawled in your own hand, the note says 68 storehouse, 9 discarded, 13 delivered, 1 damage. Okay. Do we have to do anything else? Supposed to talk to anybody else? See what Ervith says. When you're done counting the lumber, come back here and we'll see if your total numbers matches mine. Remember, for the stuff that's stowed in the storehouse, you can just ask Greithel for the number. Okay. Well, hi, Miriel. Oh no. Kitty's walking on the keyboard. Come here. Come here. Oh, come here, kitty. Yeah. There you go. Is that better? Now, you guys may not be able to hear me as well, but we'll, Hi, sweetheart. Aw, you're purring. Oh, you're down. Okay. Oh, you can't get in the chair because the box is there. Yeah. I'll get the box. All right. Now you can get in the chair. She likes to sleep in my husband's desk chair. Oh. This is not so secret. Hubby needs a computer. His is dying. So if anybody has recommendations, it has to be able to play Baldur's Gate 3 with mods because he loves that game. Alright, so we had 71. Now we got 11 planks in the stack. See if there's any bad ones. Okay. So we're up to 82. Can't remember if there's any up top here or not. Let's go look up top. Sometimes that helps us see if where else everything is. Oh, I see the sparkly over there. Okay. You count 24 planks in the stack. Okay, so we got 24. Let's see if my math's correct. So I'm getting 106. So my math is my math. 68 minus 9 bad plus 59, or is 59 plus 12, because, you know, we had 13, but 1 was bad. Is 71 plus 11 is 82 plus another 24 is 106. We'll see if my math is correct today. Done, are you? So how many planks did you count? 106. Aye, that's exactly what I counted. Yay! Thanks for your help, friend. Taking stock fair puts me to sleep, but it has to be done. As promised, I'll give you your lumber. What do you need it for, anyway? You were serious about the ladder? I'll be damned. If that's the case, please, let us help with the work. We're shipwrights with no ships to build, only shacks. While it's a living, we all itch to do something greater. This fellow you say is in charge. You reckon he'd mind the likes of us barging in on his project? He won't mind, he'd welcome the help. Wonderful, I'll round up the lads and lasses and we'll head over to the ladder, along with all the lumber you need. Excellent. We'll see if Kitty stays off the keyboard during the, They said there'd be no math. They were wrong. I don't believe they ever said there was no math. 1 isn't a prime number, you are correct. See what his Thancred say. Thancred's like carrying stuff around. Like, yeah. Isn't he like the He-Man there, carrying it on his shoulder, man? Sexy. Eulmore have rallied quite impressively. Amidst the great adversity, a little purpose never goes astray. Rin? Oh, Gav. I heard you went to find lumber. From afar, the ladder looked like it was made entirely of metal, but there's actually a lot of wood if you look for it. Elfino says, the work proceeds apace, I'm pleased to say. When it is restored, the ladder will not only be our way forward, it will represent a momentous step towards lasting change for Calusia. Alright. Alize is actually doing something instead of, standing around like her brother. I've rounded up as much material as I could for the work. Just my little bit for the cause. Good for you. Y'shtola says, by the intensity with which he works, 'tis as if all of that reluctance was a lie. Let's see what Dulia says. Oh, he'll have them moving again soon. I know he will. I love Dulia. She's so over the top. Chai-Nu says, such a primitive, inefficient design. A much smaller Talos from our company could just as easily perform the same task. Urianger says, ah, thou art returned. Wert thou able to procure the lumber? Ah, you came back. Did you get the wood? Well, to secure not only the material, but the eager cooperation of the shipwrights besides. Their expertise shall greatly avail our efforts. Well, hey, not only did you get the lumber, but you got, like, shipwrights to help us on top of that. You know, their expertise will definitely help. Master Chai's own efforts have not been without struggle, but he hath proven himself to be a determined soul. I doubt not, but that the work shall be complete ere long, and we may continue on our way once more. So Master Chai's been struggling, but he's definitely a determined sort. I don't doubt that the work will be done before long, and then we can continue on our way again. Though it hath been years in the making, at long last do the people stand united in defiance of the world's fate, their hopes spurring us ever onward towards journey's end. Surianger says, though it's been years in the making, at long last people stand united to defy the fate world has given them, and their hopes are, spurring us ever onward, to hopefully the end, successful end. Whatsoever may await us, when thou takest those final steps, I pray that it shall be with a smile upon thy face. Oh, well, that's a nice sentiment, Urianger. It says, whatever awaits us, when you take those final steps, I hope you do it with a smile on your face. A smile befits a hero. Did she have anything else for us? Urianger is wearing a pensive look. When does Urianger not wear a pensive look? Does he ever not wear a pensive look? Ah, but prematurely do I give myself to sentimental musings. Many more pressing concerns demand our attention, not the least of which is the matter of how we might reach the mountain, detached from the land as it is. For the present, 'twould appear we have matters here well in hand. Perhaps thou shouldst take thine ease for a time. Thou wilt need every ounce of thy strength for the trials ahead. So, he said, but, I'm, premature with my good hopes. There are many other concerns that, hold our attention, not the least of which is how we can reach the mountain since it's detached from the land. And so for now, it would appear we have matters well in hand here, so maybe you should take your rest for a time. You're going to need every ounce of strength for what you face ahead. Do you have anything else for us? Thy zeal is commendable, my friend, but rest assured we shall not want for hands. Pray, take thine ease in preparation for the trials ahead. Okay. It's great that you're excited, my buddy, but we've got enough people right now, so go rest up. So apparently we're going to go to rest over here.
Would you look at that? The citizens of Eulmore engaging in what can only be described as manual labor. Who would have thought it possible?
Yeah, even Thancred was out there, you know, working on stuff. But I would expect that he would be familiar with manual labor, have no trouble doing it. He grew up, you know, as a street urchin and had to do what he had to stay alive. Let's just saunter over the Warrior of Darkness here.
The most reliable way to deal with those who stubbornly refuse to see reason? You conquer them, crush them under heel. Such was the trusted method of Alec, and one still favored by Eulmore. But conquest is the easy part. The true challenge begins once the dust has settled, quenching the glowing embers of animosity and maintaining a semblance of peace.
Or maybe you could just try to, you know, not crush them under your feet, and maybe they'll like you better. Just a thought.
This requires the conqueror to treat the conquered with dignity, and the conquered to let bygones be bygones. A difficult feat to achieve.
Well, yeah, I mean, you kill my family. It's a little hard for me to like you.
But you have achieved just that, to my considerable surprise. It's a compliment. Take it. The vibrant energy that fills the air when like-minded souls gather. To think back on that time before time, fair brings a tear to the eye. What? You thought ancient beings like us incapable of crying? Well, rest assured that if your heart can be broken, then so can mine. Back when the world was whole, we had family, friends, loves. Men knew peace and contentment, and with our adamant souls, we could live for an age. There was no conflict born of want or disparity. Our differences paled into insignificance next to all we had in common. And then there was Amarok. Never was a city more magnificent. From the humblest streets to the highest spires, she fairly gleamed. Not that you would remember any of this.
Remember? We could say remember, or is this story going anywhere?
Never mind.
Ah.
The point is, the world of old was a far better place than what we have now. I believe you would like it, having witnessed the things you have. Remember, you are of the source. Unlike the half-men here, you stand only to gain. Should you survive the remaining calamities, you will become our equal. A complete existence in a complete world. But such talk is a pleasure for later. Back to work, hero. Ah, there was one thing I had meant to ask. How well do you know the Exarch? Has he ever deigned to show you what hides beneath the cowl? What? Never? Even to you? How very interesting. I shall enjoy working out what it means.
Until next time.
Oh, you didn't say that just because you wanted to enjoy sorting it out in the meantime. Little hand wave there.
Oh, I knew you could do it, dearest. I never doubted you for a moment.
It's alive. I don't know if you remember, but when we first met in this world, I was all but spent. I never thought to wonder why until now. I think it all just got to be too much. The guilt of causing the flood. Knowing everyone hated me. But the worst thing was the solitude. Time wears you down, Hai. Solitude eats away at you. It was this close to finishing me off. But as bad as it got, and as empty as I felt, I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like for Em itself. All of which is a long way of saying, don't make a choice that leaves you alone. Nothing is worth that. Especially not eternity.
Well, humans need to be around humans, typically.
Glad tidings, my friend. The ladder lives again.
All right. Good job,
Three of
guys.
us have been invited to do the honors. Are you up for it? Of course, if you're worried that the whole thing might come crashing down, we can always find someone else.
Nice puns, Alize. You elevate the level of punnery here.
That's the spirit. Come on then.
We rode the ladder too, my comrades and I. Once upon a time. Watched the horizon grow, and the town shrink below us. Awed and terrified in equal measure. We ascended without a word, the silence broken only by the rhythm of the gears. No one but me remembers that day. Remembers our journey and our end. Retread the path. Seek, and you may yet find.
There we go. We made it to another part of Calusia. You got a translator, Aunt Jay. It's part of the fun. And here we finally are at top rung. The others should arrive ere long. Elise, Alfino, Gav, come up here. There's something I need you to see. What could that be about? Alright, I'm pretty sure there's some ether current around here somewhere close. 391 yalms to the east. I think it's... around here somewhere. To the south. Oh, there it is. Northeast? Nah, I'll go for it later. We'll have other stuff to do in that direction eventually. Let's go back. Celebrate our victory at getting top rung. I want to get to the point where we can unlock that aetheryte that's up top here. Because running from right to the ladder to getting on the ladder, riding up to the side is a pain in the neck. Okay, he's up top. Hey, it's one of my FC mates. Elfino says, that appears to be a village. Why, yes, it does. There's a village, Gav, over to the northeast. So Elfino says, so there is. Yet after 2 decades without the ladder in operation, I would not be surprised if such an isolated settlement had long since been abandoned. Elise says, nor I, but that was before I spied someone leave it and proceed to head in our direction, all the while trying to remain unseen. We're being cheered on. Whoever this mysterious person is, standing over there. They should still be out there. Go on and take a look, Gav. Search your surrounding for the mysterious person. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target the figure, and inspect them with the mouse button. Probably running around here somewhere. That's a bird. Oh, let's see what happens when you target the shoebill. The creature stares at you unflinchingly. This probably isn't the mysterious personality they saw. Huh. I forgot where to find this guy. See if we can see him closer around there. I recall he was like hiding somewhere around here. Oh, there he is. Finally found him. Mysterious person. You have located the mysterious person. However, it seems he has likewise spotted you and hurriedly turns back to the village. I suspect it's because I'm in an instanced area. There's someone, right? And they were spying on us. Personally, I don't feel comfortable not knowing who they are. What do you say we investigate? Elfie says, I'm curious too, I must admit, and I dare say we have a bit of time ere the others ascend. It's settled then. We'll head to the village and see if it's indeed inhabited. Well, it's inhabited by at least one person. Alright, I gotta go get that etherite. It's gonna drive me crazy not having it. With all the DDoS attacks we've had to deal with over the last few weeks, I'd rather make sure I've got it. You discover a new location. Let's go talk to our Amuro Keep. Wait, where can I hire the Amuro to? White, Still Tide, and Eulmore. You know, speaking of fates, I just had that show up on my... Oh, I need to kill this. It's on my clan hunt log. I need 2 of them. There's another little settlement up here, too. Pit 8. Alright, Alpino says, the crate and barrels are laden with unknown contents. Alright, dried victuals. Food has been hung out to dry in the sun quite recently by your reckoning. Door. You hear faint sounds from inside the building, however the door refuses to budge. Okay. Alize peeking in the windows. I could have sworn I heard a noise. Yep, me too. I think we had to go inside. Yeah. half-empty cup and a little pot boiling on stone with fire in there. Screams not abandoned. The cups are half empty or half full, depending on how you see such things. Behind the counter, a kettle bubbles steadily over the stove. What news, Gav? Were you able to find anything of note? People are definitely still living here. I couldn't find our mysterious person. Maybe this place really is abandoned. I'll go with the second one. Nor I, but while there's no one to be seen, 'tis plain that this village is anything but abandoned. Elise says, if the villagers are trying to conceal themselves, they're doing a rather poor job of it, but if they don't wish to be seen, what are we to do? Let's think about this for a moment. I say, aren't you the ones who saved my life? You're Tristal, the artist from Eulmore. You remembered. Ever since we parted ways, I've worried for you, bound for the city as you were. Never did I imagine that we would meet again, and here of all places. Alfino says, we could say the very same thing to you, my friend. I'm glad to see you hale and whole. But tell me, what is this village? This is Amity, a settlement made up of those who survived being exiled from Eulmore. How'd you get up without the ladder working? As I wandered the wilds, I chanced to cross paths with an inhabitant of these parts. He took me through a secret tunnel which led to the top of the bright cliff. I've been here ever since. Life is hard, but we know a semblance of peace. Well, we did at any rate, until Mount Gulg broke away from the earth. Then, just as suddenly, the ladder started moving again. Elise says, and you feared whoever was coming up would threaten your lives? Aye, but I see now there's no cause for concern. Will you tell me what has brought you here? Well, we're trying to get up to Mount Gulg. So Vothri is a sin-eater, and he's fled to Mount Gulg. 'Tis a strange tale, but I have no reason to doubt your words. I owe you my life. If there's anything I can do to help, you need but say the word. Elfino says, your help would be most welcome, Tristal. To begin with, we request your people's permission to reconnoiter the area. If we are to confront Vothri, we must find a way to reach Mount Gulg. Of course, you hardly need our permission to be here. I'll tell the others about you and yours. Now, we haven't much to offer in the way of hospitality, but our village is at your disposal. Please use it as you see fit in your quest. Elfino says, I'm pleased to see that the villagers are no longer wary of us. I shall take the opportunity to ask about Mount Gulg. Tristal? More so than the revelation that Vothri is a sin-eater, I'm surprised that the free citizens of Eulmore came together to work on the ladder. Is it possible for people to change so quickly? Well, sometimes. Elise is eager to get on with the task. Yet another hapless soul that Alfino saved from mortal danger, I see. Some things never change. At any rate, it seems that brother has a mind to linger. Meanwhile, I have a mind for us to explore. Gav and I are going to scout out the area. We'll be back in a while. Alfino, oh, very well then. Just take care out there. See anything else? Take care out there. If you sense even the slightest danger, pray, turn back at once. Does Tristal have anything else? Alright. And I hate to do this to you guys. but I'm gonna finish talking to Alize. But I have to get dinner going. I need to feed the family. The path diverges. Let's split up so we can cover more ground. I'll go east if you would be so kind as to head west. We can aim to meet at the foot of the mountain, taking note of what we see along the way. In a short while, then. Alright, we actually got quite a bit done. We got the Summoner quest done up through level 70. So now we can start the Shadowbringer ones in a little bit. And we got some really crazy revelations this session. We had a kitten kind of walk on the keyboard a few times. That was fun. And we'll continue with the chaos on our next live stream, I'm sure. Let's get to the cat joke. All right. Here's one. Why do cats make terrible DJs? They always pause the tunes. Pause the tunes. Okay, cats and kittens, if you're having fun, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm sure we'll have more Miriel chaos in the future. If you want to see more of that, you know, come join us. I added another solo duty to the solo duty school. That was the fight with Ranjit, not this time but last time. Because that's one of the tougher ones in the game, I think, because the mechanics aren't really well explained. And so that's up. I'm going to try and get some more posted as we go along, because those are super helpful. I saw a couple of duties on YouTube that were helpful for me completing some of the things, but there's not a lot out there, so I thought I'd try and make a solo duty tutorial for pretty much every solo duty we can come across. And then I kind of split the main playlist into expansions, so if you see a little bit of difference on the front page, that's why. All right, cats and kittens, you have a great one. And MamaCatGamer is signing out for now, and I will see you soon. Have a great one.